I grew up very stereotypically, man. I didn't play basketball, football. I grew up playing ping pong. Competitively. That was a serious national sport back home, man. You know, I didn't go to any like fun summer camp, space camp. My dad sent me to a ping pong training camp in Guangzhou, China. I almost died. It was 100 kids competing for one spot on the national team. It was basically Fortnite with ping pong paddles. We took that seriously though. My dad would take me to every practice, every tournament game, and he always tried to give me a pep talk before every game. But you know, Asian parents, they're way too honest. So every pep talk just turned into an insult. Like he'll come up to me and be like, Jimmy, you're going to play well, okay? Even though you're slow, even though you're weak, and you suck. And then he would just walk away. I was very good at math. That's a big Asian stereotype. I think there's some truth to that. Not because of some weird genetic thing, just because our parents care so much more about mathematics and academics, right? You guys seen it? You guys seen those like Kumon learning centers in those strip malls, right? Right? Kumon learning centers, for you guys that don't know, are basically detention camps for young Asian children. You can tell that place is kind of f***ed up by the look of its logo. Because it's supposed to be a smiley face, but it's not really smiling. It's just like, man. My parents were way too cheap to send me to Kumon. They got a different strategy. They never let me use a calculator until I turned 15, so I can work on my brain function. That's an old school Chinese strategy. You know, so when I turned 15, it was a very special occasion. It was basically my quinceañera. My dad just gave me a TI 83 plus. And he looked me in the eyes, and he was like, you're a woman now, okay? But when you're a kid, when your parents tell you you can't do something, what do? You rebel, right? So when I was 14 years old, I stole my brother's calculator. I stole Roy Rogers' calculator. And I locked myself in my room, and I started rebelling. I started doing math homework. Other kids were like around with like alcohol and drugs. I was up some problems, you know? Locked myself in a room. I was just punching in numbers. I was like, oh man, this feels great, you know? It's so wrong. It's awesome. My dad was pissed. He was knocking on the other side of the door. He doesn't like locked doors in the house. And he was screaming. He was like, Jimmy, what are you doing inside? Come out right now. I know you're using a calculator. Come out right now. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. And he unlocked the door and he came in. I went into full panic mode, so I just threw away the calculator and I pulled out my pants. I was like, Dad, I was just jerking off. And he came in and he looked at me and then he looked at the math homework. And he was like, good, very good. Very good. Very good. You must have really like math. That's good. That's good. Keep it up. Because there's nothing that will make your Asian father more proud than to see his son jerk off to his math homework.
Give it up for yourselves, man, for being here tonight. Thank you. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And Asian people, where we at? Asian people. Look at this. Look at you guys. This is great. I'm so proud of my Asian people. There's so much excellence out there going on. A lot of people representing. It's never been a better time to be Asian. I say this every year, I know. But truly, this is our time. I mean, come on, we got BTS now. Come on. That's us, that's our people. They're doing it. I'm so proud of them, man. Biggest band in the world, probably ever since the Backstreet Boys, and they don't even have to speak English. I love my BTS, man. Even white people know BTS now. That's progress. That's progress. I had a 15-year-old white kid come up to me trying to explain to me the different members of BTS. He was like, oh, this is Jungkook. He's kind of like the lead singer. And that's Jimin. He's really cool. And he also raps. I'm like, dude, they look the same to me. I didn't want to say it. I couldn't say it as an Asian person. But they all just look like me with pink hair. I can turn the whole show to a BTS concert right now. All right? Yeah, this is Jimmy. This is Jimin right here. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Smooth like butter. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I love my people, man. I love BTS. You guys probably heard in the news, they gotta go to mandatory Korean army. Right? The most popular people in the world, they gotta go sign up for Korean military. That's some gangster shit. Imagine how scared you'll be when you encounter BTS on the battlefield. You're in battle, you're already kind of shook. You're in a field of grass, and a little puff of pink hair just pops up. You're like, yo, what the fuck was that? Is that a unicorn? And then 6 more pink hair pop up. You're like, we're surrounded. And the last thing you see is just this. That's some gangster shit. I'm proud of my people, man. I'm proud of my people. You know, a lot of great representation out there. I see some of you guys still wearing your masks. I still wear my mask, no shame in that, right? It's all good. It's all good. I wear my mask not because I think I'm gonna get sick, but because I just don't want to talk to anybody anymore. But I'm still surprised when people come up to me, they're like, oh my God, Jimmy? I'm like, how did you know? How did you know? How many other Asian guys did you go up to before it happened to be me? You don't know. You don't know. Underneath this mask, I could be Aquafina. You don't know. And look, I'm not saying that all Asian people look alike, okay? I'm just saying that me and Aquafina look alike. And we both look like we should be in BTS. Love all the representation out there, man. But it's not just celebrities. I'm very proud of the everyday people out there representing. That's the important part. You know what I mean? No. I'm very happy for this one particular person. I'm really happy for that old Chinese lady in Chinatown who's been wearing a mask since 1995. Her life just suddenly made sense. Before the mask mandate, everybody looked at her as like, ugh, why is she wearing a mask? That's so random. She's not random, she's a fucking trailblazer, okay? She started wearing a mask, now everybody has to wear a mask. She's like the Kendall Jenner of Chinatown. She must have been so happy when this mask mandate happened, just laughing at everyone. It's like, look at you idiots. I told you to put on a mask. No, the CDC follows me. She was prepared. She didn't just have a mask. She had gloves on from when she's driving. She had the full face shield that comes down looking like Daft Punk. That's my girl right there, man. Asian people, we're ready for this shit. Social distancing, we've been doing that for centuries. We don't like all that hugging and touching and all that. You know, when we see each other, just a nice bow. That is socially distanced. If you're really Asian, you ever see 2 really Asian people, it turns into a bowing contest to see who's more respectful, to see who can bow lower and more away from each other until you just fold it in half and you go home. That's social distancing, people. That's right. That's right. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's everybody should be a little more Asian. A lot of people in this country, Americans, you know, like, we're not ready for this. All the rules, we're rebels, man. We don't like following rules. People are like freaking out. They're like, mask mandate? No. I'm like, dude, it's just a mask. Just put on a mask. They're like, it's not just a mask. It's the government. Yeah, it's the government fear-mongering. I'm like, what is that? They're like, yeah, it's fear mongering. They want you to be scared of everything, so you're obedient and you're scared and you follow the rules. I'm like, oh, that's called fear mongering? Then my mom must have invented fear mongering. Huh. I didn't know that's what it's called. Ever since I was 5 years old, my mom had me believe that anything I do would make me sick. You go outside without a jacket, you get the flu. You go to bed with the fan on, pneumonia. God forbid you fall asleep with wet hair. You don't even wake up. That's it. You're dead. That's it. You're dead. That's fear mongering, man. I'm not scared of anything anymore. I don't think I have any fear anymore. I used to watch that show, Fear Factor. You guys remember that show? Yeah, Joe Rogan hosted Fear Factor to make you face your fears, like jump off a helicopter, eat crazy shit like pig intestines and century egg. I ate that shit for breakfast. This is nothing to me. Fear is not a factor. I do remember when I was like 10 years old, little boy, I was very scared because there was this one kid, pretty sad story. In my class, he had childhood leukemia. And then he lost all his hair to chemo and everything, looking real frail. And I was really scared. I was like, oh my God, is he gonna be okay? And my mom, she's a great mother. She saw how scared I was. So she came up to console me. She was like, Jimmy, you see, this is what happens when you play too much video games. That's fear-mongering, okay? I never played a game of FIFA after that. My mom was like the original fake news. It's good to see everyone here, man. I think collectively as people, we all been through a lot in the last few years, man. You know?